Don't shake it off. Welcome to the ugly truth. Ugh. So much.
I know.
My daughter got married last week.
She did. The little hornet.
Niece, our little hornet, got married. It was a whirlwind. Well, the original plan, she's been with her now, oh my God, her husband. Can't believe I have to say that. For like 5 or 6 years. They met very young.
It's been longer than that.
Not that much longer, because it's been 6, I believe. Anyway, regardless, it's been a long time. But he waited so that she could finish school and get established. And then they moved home and they're like, okay, now we can get married. And so, which we really respected, by the way, that she was able to get her life going before, marriage. Anyway, so we've been planning it. And then we were going to have like an actual wedding. And then she was getting really, really overstimulated. And she's like, I don't think I want this. And we're like,
sounded like a cat.
Well, she kind of, aren't we all at some point? And so she's like, I
get overstimulated, start scratching and biting.
Basically. And so she basically is like, I think we want to elope. I'm like, okay. I said, that's fine. But is it okay if I watch you elope? Are you going to do it at like a county clerk office or like, what are we talking? And she's like, no, I think we want to exchange vows like somewhere really beautiful. And then we'll just go off for the weekend somewhere. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Well, ultimately ended up that she really did want her family there. And Ken, the husband, also wanted his family there. So it was mom and dad, siblings, and then she had her best friend there.
Yeah.
And that was
let's be honest, it was a wedding.
It ultimately ended up being a mini wedding.
It was a wedding.
And so, which was fine.
And it's great.
Yeah.
It was just an intimate wedding, but it was still a wedding.
I will say this, though. They really wanted to exchange vows somewhere beautiful. And they love Big Sur. And so they wanted to do it in Pfeiffer State Park. They found a photographer who knew how to navigate Pfeiffer State Park because it's the forest.
Yeah.
And then there's beach. So you can get both types of photos. Yeah. And their photos was like their number one priority. They really wanted to spend a lot of their time and budget on photography. We thought, wonderful. So they found this amazing photographer who's actually local here. And she's like, yeah, I'll travel. It'll be great. And it was, she was amazing.
They're beautiful. The photos are so pretty. Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so we decided to stay in Carmel for the weekend. And we would drive up to Big Sur for the thing, drive back down, and then we'll have a little dinner party at the rental that we rented. And it'll be wonderful. And then Sunday, we decided to do a send-off, like a send-off brunch, basically, or a lunch at a restaurant in downtown Carmel.
Right.
So all this is, coming together. Everything's great. I will tell you this. So Mackenzie is a wonderful, beautiful bride. Our hairstylist who does all of our hair, including yours at some point, he wanted to offer his services for the day because they love Carmel. He's like, we don't have to go to anything. We just, but we love Carmel and I would love to do her hair. We're like, yes, let's do that. So they drove in and he did everybody's hair because he had time and it was amazing. We really appreciated that. And so we get there Friday night. Everything's amazing. And let me tell you, having all of my kids together in one place was so freaking cool.
I bet.
It was so cool because Natalie flew in from Phoenix. And so all 4 of them were together. Tyler, everybody got their drink on Friday night a little bit. Not a ton because we had to be ready and fresh for Saturday.
Thank you.
But they all were getting their drinky on, the 4 of them. And Tyler starts harassing them like a brother, only a brother can. And so Malia's in her room and she brought a friend with her because she didn't, want to be alone.
Rachel.
Yeah, so Rachel came with her.
Rachel's always there. She's like
she's a sibling. Yeah.
So
Tyler goes in there and they're, Malia is notorious for rotting in bed very early. She loves to just lay and watch TV. That's just what they do.
Yeah.
So Tyler comes in, it's bedtime. He comes in, he goes, what are you guys doing? And she's like, we're watching TV and laying in bed. What are you doing in here? He's like, I don't know. I just want to see what you guys are doing. She's all, get out! Mom, come get your son! And I'm like, what's going on down there? He's like, nothing. Everything's fine.
He won't leave.
He won't leave me alone. And then Natalie's like, I'm locking my door. She's like, don't come in here. Anyway, it was very cute. So we had a great time. Saturday morning rolls around. We're all getting ready. I had an awkward moment.
No.
I had several, but so we're all getting ready. Malia's doing all everybody's lashes and eye makeup and stuff like that. I did my own because the last time Aaliyah did my makeup, it looked exactly the way that I do it.
Yeah.
So I did it. I just did a heavier eye because with photographs, you get washed out immediately.
Yeah.
So I did a super heavy smoky eye.
Plus, it's a long day.
It is a long day. So you need setting spray, all that stuff. So my eyes are done. She puts on my lashes and she's like, oh my God, they look so good. I'm like, yeah, thank you. So everybody has dispersed and we're all putting our clothes on, right? Our nice clothes. And I go out, all the makeup is on the dining room table and I need setting spray badly because I don't want it to fade. Mm-hmm. So I grab the one star or whatever it's called, setting spray. And I'm like, psh, 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 and I did it because it's like an aerosol. It's perfect for setting spray. Your makeup's going nowhere.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, okay, great. So I get dressed and I'll tell you about the dress situation later. So we're all coming out and we're like, everybody looks so good. And I'm like, wait a minute. And Daryl goes, why are you glittery? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh no.
And I look down and I have glitter on my dress. I'm like, glitter? I'm like, I don't have any glitter. I'm like, I don't even have glittery eyeshadow on.
It wasn't setting spray.
It was setting spray, but it was setting spray for clubbing.
Oh, for God's sakes.
So Malia,
who put that on there?
So Malia goes, I hadn't even used that yet. I go, what is this? She goes, it's the glitter setting spray for when you go out at night. So you're glittery in the club lights.
Did you not have your glasses on when you grabbed it?
Well, why would she even have it?
Because they probably were going to go out that night, I'm guessing.
No, they didn't. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Mom, I didn't even use it yet. I'm like, oh, you're mad that I broke the seal on your glitter spray?
Oh my God. You're like,
look at me. I look like a vampire from that show.
We have bigger issues than me using your unused bottle of glitter spray.
I look like a Twilight vampire.
I'm about to go to my child's wedding.
I'm going to be glittering in the forest.
And there's nothing you can do.
So now it's like a mad dash. There's makeup brushes in my face.
No.
There's sticky tape coming off of on my dress, trying to get all the glitter off. I'm like, do I look ridiculous? I'm the mother of the bride. It was insane. Insane.
When you said you were spraying it, I was like, I wonder if this is what it's going to be. I was like, was it hairspray in my mind?
No. Well, it was worse. I wish it had been hairspray.
Because it's setting spray, so it probably didn't want to come off.
Good Lord.
Like you should have really needed to be scrubbing it, I'm guessing.
There was some crisis averted. Okay. If you've seen any pictures of me, I didn't see any glitter. I don't look like a Twilight vampire.
Right, thank God.
But it was
funny.
It was funny. I'm like, of course I did. And everybody's trying to blame everybody for why this spray is even available. Well, you shouldn't have even had it out. It should have been in the bag. Mom! Like everything she owned was spread out.
How did you not know? Didn't you see the glitter?
No. Because I was literally standing there in the kitchen going psh, 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 on my face with my eyes closed. I didn't know.
Right.
Anyway, it's mostly meant for your body. It's not really. I mean, it is setting spray.
Yeah.
But people put makeup on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. So the way that Mackenzie and Ken decided to do stuff is the real personal, like the vows they wrote and all the stuff that take over the bulk of a wedding. They wanted to do that privately because they didn't really want a crowd for that. So, which is why they wanted to elope, really. Nice. So this house that we rented had a third deck where you had unobstructed views of the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and it was stunning. And we had a really good day that day. When we pulled in on Friday night, it was pouring down rain. Ugh. We wake up Saturday, sunny, blue sky.
Perfect.
Like you couldn't even ask for a better day. So they went upstairs with the photographer. They did their first look. They exchanged vows. Nice. The photographer's up there taking all these photos that we have not seen. And it was amazing. And oh God, it was her dad got to take her up with her friend, and Ken responded exactly the way you want a groom to respond. He's like, are you kidding me?
Like
and so Daryl comes down crying, and I'm like, what happened? He's like, she's so beautiful. There was so much crying this weekend. So much crying. All of us.
All good crying.
Very good crying. No sad crying. And so we all journey up to Big Sur. Everybody has seen everybody. We're all excited. Ken's excited. All the things. So we get to Big Sur. And there's literally 15 of us, and half of us are walking someone down the aisle because, parents. And so Ken is walking down the aisle with his parents. And then, me and Daryl and Mackenzie were standing back. Well, Greg and Glenn got stuck behind a very, very slow person who was lost on Highway 1.
Oh.
So there's no service. If you know.
They couldn't call to tell you, like,
he
hey.
called, he's breaking up. And I'm like, I think it's 3:30. I think you'll be okay. Well, I was wrong. It was 3:00. And so I told Kenzie, I go, Greg and Glenn aren't here yet. You might want to wait. Can we just wait like 10 minutes? She goes, Mom, they literally are kicking us out at 4:00. We can't. And I'm like, okay. So we waited like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I guess we're going. All systems go. So we're walking. And before we walk, I turn to Kenzie and I just start bawling.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna don't be freaking emotional again.
It's your daughter's
and
wedding.
Then she starts bawling. I'm like, okay, wait. We spent way too much time on makeup. We cannot. This is a good occasion. This is happy. And I turned to Daryl. I said, this is exactly why mothers do not walk their children down the aisle.
Right. They're sitting in the front row waiting.
This is why they're sitting in the front row with a handkerchief.
Like,
sobbing. Because now, like I told you before, we're walking. And first of all, this is forest floor.
I know. I saw.
It was wet. And there were some rugs, but I was wearing very vintage shoes that I had that matched the dress. I love these shoes. And they're very old. And they're a little frail, which I didn't realize. And so I'm walking.
Vintage.
Yes, they're vintage. And so I'm walking and I'm, the heels are going into the forest floor. And I'm trying not to get stuck with leaves on my fucking heels. And so I'm walking. Not only am I paying attention, and it's not a flat surface.
No.
We have to go down in between trees to get to this aisle, to walk her down the aisle. It's in front of a stream. It's beautiful.
Yes.
There's also a lot of hikers and walkers watching as they walk into the forest.
They're like, oh, look, a
They're
wedding.
like, oh, you're like, okay, don't care about that.
Yeah.
So we're walking. And so I told Daryl, I'm like, every single photo is going to be me trying not to ugly cry, trying not to fall.
Yeah.
This dress I have on is a little too long, so I'm trying not to trip, which I did almost later. And so I'm like, this is going to be a challenge, photographically a challenge. So we go, we drop her off, we sit down. I'm trying not to cry. Apparently, it was quite emotional. Tyler almost shed a tear.
Oh. It was emotional. Tyler almost shed a tear.
Yeah, in fact, Malia's like, I almost started crying. Malia is cold. And so I'm like, wow, I didn't realize. But you could just feel, vibe.
It's beautiful. It's the whole thing.
Right. And so we sit down. They exchange literally 2 minutes.
Oh,
2 minutes.
That's a long time.
No.
It's not a long time?
It's not a long time.
Oh, okay.
They're like, do you? Yes. Do you? Yes. Exchanging of the rings. I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Oh,
congratulations.
you mean the whole ceremony.
whole ceremony.
I thought you meant their vows were 2 minutes.
No, they did that in private.
Yeah.
So all we saw was the legality of it all. And so
it was so quick.
Daryl turns to me. He goes, we could have waited. We could have waited for 5 minutes.
For as long as that took.
For the rest of the guests to come. We could have waited, And I'm like, agreed. And then, so we're all standing around because when you coordinate and when you have a wedding at the state park, and it is beautiful. They're like, we'll provide you with some veggies and some cheese, and we'll provide you with a little champagne and non-alcoholic, cider or whatever. We're like, okay, cool. So we're all standing around. We're getting ready to do a toast, and here come Greg and Glenn.
Aww.
Not only did they come a different way, so they came downstairs. Everybody's
God.
hey! They're like, oh my God, they were absolutely mortified
because they were late.
Well, not only that, but they made a grand entrance.
Well, I'm glad they had an awkward moment.
We laughed so hard. He's like, I'm dying right now. I'm dying. And I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. He's like, and I turned.
It would have been worse if you guys had like 200 guests and they were like, da, 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 da.
Oh God.
Hello.
He's like, we went the wrong way. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
You don't know where you're going. You're
no,
just trying
it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you're looking for people you know. You're like, there they are.
Finally, yeah. And they thought they hadn't missed it. Because we were all standing around,
right?
And we're like, "Oh, you just missed it by like 5 minutes." And he's like, "I'm so embarrassed." I'm like, "No, shut up. It's fine. Nobody cares."
He's probably looking at Glenn like, "This is
your fault." Maybe. I don't know. But anyway,
it was someone's fault,
Well, yeah, it was the dumb broad in front of him.
Whatever. I'm just saying. But when you're a couple and you're late for something and it's important, someone's getting yelled at.
100%. Someone's in trouble.
One of you two.
So anyway, we're all standing around. So then there's just a ton of pictures, every variety, every combo, all the things. And where is Dad and his brother who came?
Where?
Down by the stream, wondering if they can fish it.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, you are in.
He's like, I have a thread. We could finger
You're
string.
in a 3-piece suit, the lot of you. What are you doing? We're in the forest in dress clothes.
Like, man, I bet you there's some trout in here.
The smartest person of that wedding was Ken's mother, who wore cowboy boots.
Oh, yeah, brilliant.
I was so jealous.
You're like,
I'm like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I? No one can see my shoes. Literally, I'm wearing a long ass dress. Like, no one can see it.
well, and yeah. I mean, it's one of those venues because it's so far away.
Oh my God.
It's not like you could have gone to see it before unless you would have like gone down like on another weekend.
Well, so Mackenzie and Ken did. They they saw it twice.
Well, then she should have known. She'd be like, Mom, this is like legit, like hype.
She wore boots, but not cowboy. Excuse me, not cowboy boots, but she wore like wedding boots. They were really pretty.
Yeah.
But anyway, she changed into hiking boots for their photo shoot because they had to traipse through the forest.
Yeah.
Those photos are spectacular, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen some of them.
Anyway, so the ceremony ends in record time. We stand around, and for some reason, I'm like, God, my shoes are not comfortable anymore, and I couldn't figure out why. Well, because when I was stepping through the 8 inches and the 100 years of leaves that are now the forest floor, all of the fabric and the heel bottom had ripped off of my shoe. That's how bad it was. First of all, I didn't realize how frail my shoes were.
Yeah.
I've only worn them once in the last
Yeah.
like 5 years. And then before that, I wore them a bunch. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
That
God. And they
sucks.
sounded weird because I was walking on nail, basically.
Ow.
Well, not my heel, but I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the heel is now
yeah.
just.
No, I know what you mean.
I'm like, wow, these are really uncomfortable. So I get home, I'm like, not only did I have a stick in my shoe that I had been stepping on because I thought I had a blister, but it was a stick of some weird
could have
kind.
taken it out, but you didn't know.
I didn't know. And then I'm like, what happened to my shoe? Not only caked in mud and leaves, but now all I
God.
see is like raw heel and the satin is gone.
Those are trash.
And it was a dumb idea.
Oh,
it
that
was such a dumb
sucks.
idea. It's fine. I mean, they were pretty frail.
I mean, it would have been great if it was like a wedding at a,
100%. If it
with
had
the
been
floor.
if it had been on a deck or
Yeah.
something, it wouldn't have
would've
been
been
so
great, but yeah.
whatever. Anyway, obviously you were supposed to be there. Let's also make that known.
Months ago, yes.
Yes, I mean obviously, but
Before all of my
life changes,
changed,
and
yeah.
you weren't able.
We're not.
You were missed.
yeah,
very much.
We very much missed being there.
Yeah, you would have. You were
But
definitely missed.
I'm really, honestly, I'll always be sad that I didn't get to go. But at the same time, I was like, you know what, even because I thought about you guys the whole weekend that
Of
you were
course.
gone. I was like, if I would have been there, I don't know if I wouldn't have been. I probably would have been miserable. Not miserable because I'm just miserable all the time these
I
days.
know.
And I'm like, I'm just so happy that they're happy and everything's
yes.
having so much fun.
Yes.
I'm like,
It was.
I
I will.
wouldn't have-
We did have some faux pas. It wasn't flawless.
never.
So we get home and Daryl goes, I'm concerned about the catering because we were having people come to the house afterwards.
Yeah.
And we were just going to get, we just ordered some like Mediterranean Italian kind of food. And we're like, I'm concerned that we don't have enough. And because that's everybody's concern always.
Yeah, you're always worried you're not going to have enough food.
Right. And he's like, I'm just concerned. He goes, and I haven't heard from them. And I just want to make sure it's going to be ready at 6:00. And I'm like, okay. So he calls at 5:15 to confirm that we'll be able to pick it up in 45 minutes. They have no record of our order.
Oh, for God's sakes.
And I'm like, what? He goes, I had a feeling this was going to happen. He goes, I'm just, and in my mind, I'm like, well, we'll just order pizzas. Like, no biggie. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. He goes, yeah, it wouldn't be a big deal, except I fully paid for it.
Oh, shit.
And it was $600.
Yeah.
So they're fucking making the food if I have to go down there. And I'm like,
Right.
okay. So he calls. It takes 3 people finally. They're like, oh, we can't find it. Are you sure this is the location? He's like, please.
He's
please.
like, yes, I'm sure.
So he finally gets some. She's like, hi, what can I do for you? He's like, what can you do for me? Well, and he's being very kind.
He's always so kind.
Very patient. Well, because he needs
I
them
get
to
it.
work.
But I wouldn't have been.
So she goes, okay, what was the name? And he had to like, oh God.
How is this an even, like, how do you not know?
Well, this is what he said. He goes, I made the order online. They gave me a confirmation number. I have a receipt. I have all the proof. I have the receipts of that we ordered it. For some reason, they couldn't find it. And the problem is this restaurant is so popular and so busy that it always goes to voicemail. And they're like, we're too busy, but please leave a message, blah, blah, blah. He goes, I did that 3 times. Thrice! And so finally when I called and they're like, oh, we can't find it. She goes, oh, wait, is this you? And he goes, yes. He goes, okay. And he goes, is this going to be ready in 40 minutes? And she's like, yes. He's like, would it be better if I gave you till 6:30? And she goes, I would really appreciate that. And he goes, okay. He goes, I'll be there at 6:30.
Yeah, I'd rather it be so you're not throwing together.
Well, the problem is we ordered lasagna. We ordered stuff, like big, bulky stuff.
Food for people.
Right. And it's Saturday night. They're slammed,
that is too fucking bad.
And so I said,
you took my $600, bitch.
And then somebody, I don't remember, because we were telling people like, yeah, they forgot our order. And somebody goes, well, there were a lot of customers who were waiting for the lasagna that night. And I'm like, 100%.
I hope so.
100%. So Daryl is really stressed. And I go, hey, it's going to be fine. He goes, people are going to show up and they're not going to be. I'm like, it'll be fine. We have booze. No one's going to care.
Yeah. And we'll all be a little bit hungrier than we normally
We have chips. We have cookies. We have other shit that they can eat until we set it up. It's going to be fine. And it's not 100 people. It's literally 18 people, including us.
Yeah.
But yes, he was stressed. And so Greg and Glenn were like, hey, we're over at Talbot having a wine. Do you guys want to wait for your food here? We're like, on our way. So we go to Talbot. We're sitting. The lady comes out. She goes, oh, I hear it's a big day. Here's a splash of sparkling to,
nice.
for yourself. So we sat. We had a couple glasses of wine and everything was fine.
It was fine.
We get home. People showed up like 10 minutes later. No one cared.
Yeah.
It was great. And a lot of people, because of the window, because there was such a window of time, a lot of people ate.
Oh,
because there was such a window.
It was so long in between.
It was just long enough.
Yeah.
That they're like, well, we went and had a cocktail.
We need a nosh. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
We did go through almost all the food, but not all of it. We ended up having to take some of it home.
Oh, good.
Perfect amount of food. Everything was wonderful.
Oh, good.
It was a great weekend.
Well, it's a good fucking thing they pulled it off.
Oh, my God.
They were probably like, shit.
They're like, we have to do it.
Yes, you do.
Well, and I'm just like, how come we don't have a separate,
honestly,
office?
There's so many things wrong with that. Right? You know what I mean? That I can't even.
That's a huge order.
It's a huge order. And if you have a $600 order on a Saturday night, and
why isn't it ready at 3?
Honest to God.
It's pasta.
Who is the manager?
It's salad.
Seriously.
Like, it was literally the easiest stuff. We did not even go insane. We just did basic shit.
Even so, that's a lot of food to prepare on a night that's a busy night. Yes, someone should be in charge of those kinds of things the day before.
Be a separate
Not that they would be prepared the day before, but it's like, okay, hey, we have this catering order that's in for Saturday night.
I tell you what,
the prep needs to be done by 10.
Yes.
And that way we can throw it in the oven by 2 or 3 and everything's ready.
100% agree.
And I don't fucking run a restaurant.
I know. Well, we all definitely had strong feelings.
Well, thank God they pulled it off and they redeemed themselves and they didn't ruin the night, because that could have been a disaster.
It would have been very stressful.
I would have been very, very upset if my nice Italian dinner ended up being pizza.
It would have been really annoying for sure.
I mean, I would have done it. It's not like we're fucking prima donnas.
No,
but
of course not. But I mean, it's like we're hosting all these people.
Thank you.
Anyway, so that all went without a hitch. And then
poor Daryl, he's probably like pulling his hair out.
Daryl wanted to do his daddy-daughter dance on Saturday night in the house. We're like, okay, that'd be great. Yeah. We have the song. He's had this song picked out for almost a year. And so
did she choose it?
No, Dad chose. Well, I found it.
Lauren chose everything.
No, Daryl and I chose.
She's like us. She's like, no, I'm in charge. You will dance to what I say.
We showed Kenzie the song and she started weeping. We're like, oh yeah, this will be a perfect song. So it's a Zach Brown song. And so he also did a daddy-daughter dance with Natalie when she got married 10 years ago.
I remember. I was there.
And it was also a Zach Brown song. So it was kind of a cool tradition that they have this other song.
Cute.
And it's really fitting about her wanting to go live a life and be adventurous, and all that stuff. So he goes.
Or dance to Butterfly Kisses.
Oh, geez.
I'm telling you. I told you the story before we got on air just because
the weeping alone.
Sobbed.
So.
Because that was also a long time ago. They've been married 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
So Butterfly Kisses 13 years ago was still a.
That's a very touching, difficult song to get through without crying.
It was.
With a daddy-daughter. So the song starts playing and I'm like, I cock my head and I'm like, this isn't the song. This isn't the song.
Shit.
And so then they finished the song and I was not emotional at all because I'm like, this isn't
because the whole time you're like, this is the wrong song.
This is the wrong song. This is the song he danced to with Natalie.
Ah, shit.
So he comes over afterwards and he's like a little bleary-eyed and he'd obviously had some cocktails. We all had. And I go, that was really beautiful, but sweetheart, that wasn't the song. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, that was the wrong song. That's not the one you picked. He goes, I picked it. I know what it is.
Oh,
I'm like, okay,
Fine. If you're okay with it, then fine.
That's what I said. I go, you know what? I
song.
go, if you decided that this was the song you wanted to do, it's totally fine.
It was great.
3 days later, no. So like 30 minutes later, he goes, it was the wrong song. I'm like, what? It was? Are you sure? I thought you said this was the one you wanted. You said this is it. You were very resolute. You were very serious when you told me. And he's like, no, you were right. It's the wrong song.
And I'd be like, I'm always right.
I'm like, okay, well, bygones.
that was nice of you to be humble about it.
She only gets married once. It's fine. Oh, please, Stephanie.
Jimmy,
Yes,
I mean,
I'm so humble
in
when
that
I'm right.
moment, come on.
Anyway, so he was so upset about it.
Did you do it again?
So the next day, we're doing a send off for the kids, for
Right.
Kenzie and Ken. And so we had this beautiful lunch at Gracing's, which is a beautiful restaurant. They have a rooftop, and we got it for, a song.
You told me about it.
So we're up there. So he's all ting, ting, ting. He's like, everything's been wonderful. He goes, but I did mess up. And everybody, you could hear a pin drop.
They're like, what do you mean?
They're like, what happened? I could literally hear people going, oh my God, what happened? Did you forget something? And so then he says, I did the wrong song. And so then they played the right song, Not a Dry on the House.
oh, everybody bawled.
Not a dry
we have to
eye
do it again?
in the house. Well, because it made more sense. The song made
Yeah.
sense. And then Daryl's brother's at the end of the table. He's like, I will not be attending my own daughter's weddings. I cannot handle it. This is too much.
It's too much.
I can't take it.
I'm telling you.
I can't take it. And so
I knew it was going to be like that for you. So when you guys were leaving and you were doing the send off, I'm like, Jamie, this weekend is going to be a weekend you will never forget.
And honestly, it was so,
in so many ways.
positive.
Yeah, it is.
I told Daryl, I couldn't have asked for a better weekend.
No. I'm so jealous of the
No
way you got to do
drama.
it. Yeah, we didn't have any drama, but that's because I didn't let there be. As
Yes.
far as, because I would have been the one to
for
start
Lauren?
it. Yes, because I only have one daughter.
I
So I only got to
know.
do it once. There were people who tried to ruin it for me,
Yeah.
both my family and theirs.
Yep.
But because
You're like, nope.
I knew, I'm like, nothing you can do to me is going to ruin this moment.
And you told me it would be magical, and it 100%
And it is. And
was.
even though there were things that I look back on that I'm really upset that people did to me or caused,
Right.
it still doesn't overshadow
No.
the good, the wonderful parts of it that I will never forget.
It was pure, like, we just couldn't have asked. I could not have asked for it. It was just great. And
It
I
is.
didn't.
And it's
it
so
wasn't that
worth
I
all
didn't-
the things.
It wasn't that I didn't believe you. It was
No,
just that
it doesn't.
it
no.
was just so.
It was actually in my mind and heart. I knew.
Yes.
I'm like, I can't
Now I
tell
know.
her. And
Now
I'm
I
like, and
know.
when she does it, she will know.
Totally get it. And I'm like, God
And
damn
it's
it.
one of those things you'll never, never, never forget. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you will
Yes.
always remember that weekend.
God, it was
Lauren's
so
been
great.
married. She's going to have her 13th wedding anniversary in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I remember that day like it was yesterday.
It's so funny when we talk about how long everyone's been around. I'm like, we're actually pretty young to be having this kind of conversation, because like even Ken's parents are like a decade older than us.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is their first wedding. And of course,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
Ken. And I'm like, not only are our kids, I think, great, they're older than we were when we started our lives.
Yeah.
Well,
my daughter isn't.
I mean,
and Natalie wasn't.
I know, but you were also a baby.
Lauren was 21 when she got married, 22.
Yeah, so was Natalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, very young.
Yeah.
But we were also, as
Yeah.
parents, very young.
At the time, yes.
I feel like everything we experience in life together, we're so much younger than we should be.
I mean, with our early kids.
Yes, yes. I mean,
I'm the opposite now with my son. I don't know a
Yes.
lot of people who are 52 and have a 13-year-old.
having a middle schooler in our 50s is definitely not the norm.
No.
But also having a baby at 19 or 20 is also not the norm.
Yeah, no.
Which is
definitely
basically
not. I mean, my daughter and I, how old is
extremes.
Tyler and Lauren? They're 32.
Yeah.
So think about that.
That's insane.
They're 32 and we're 52.
They're older than they're older than we were when we had them. When I was
Wait, what?
when I was Tyler,
way older.
When I was Tyler's age, I had been married for like 6 years. I had 4 fucking kids.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Insane. And now
Yeah.
they're just like, how am I going to make a car payment?
I mean,
like, what?
yeah. When I was Lauren's age, it was like 5 years later. I had Jeff.
Crazy. It's so crazy. Life is so crazy.
Yeah. So very, very different. Yeah. We did it. We did both. We had. Well, you kind of. Yeah. We did.
I
both.
fell upstairs twice.
Well, you said Kenzie felt too.
Oh my God.
And that could have been a disaster.
Okay, so they really played into this though. They leaned into it afterwards. So we're going up. We just get to the house on Friday.
Remember, everybody, it was pouring rain.
Pouring rain. So we had a break. So we're like, well, let's go upstairs and look at the deck because that's where they want to do first look and all the things.
And this is a multi-level house, right? That you rented.
Kind of.
Well, there's probably stairs that go up to the front door. Carmel and those houses, they're very...
Steps that go down to the front door.
Okay, steps.
Because it's hilly as fuck.
Yeah, everything's hilly. Because when they build these houses, they try to keep the landscape...
Oh, dude. It was so
as
beautiful.
pristine as possible.
It
so
was
they mold
beautiful.
the houses to fit the landscape and not the other way around.
100% do. And so... outside multi-levels, the garage was above the house.
Yeah.
Because of the hills, right?
Tahoe's kind of like this too.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, because they don't want to, they're not going to flatten earth and like move things when you build a house. They're like, oh, hell no.
You'll figure it out, guys.
And you do. And that's why the houses are often like weird.
There are these
not weird in a bad way, but they're just...
You're right, though. That's completely true.
Yeah, they're not
Carmel's
like
the same
typical,
way.
Yes.
If you want to renovate a house, you're not doing anything other than renovating the house.
Yes.
The land
You're
stays
not moving
the same.
earth. Yeah. So, they won't let you.
But it was a stunning home. And
I'm sure it was.
So we're
There's
going
not a
up.
lot of dumps in Carmel.
If there's dumps, they're being currently renovated. So we go up to the third. She's like, oh, this will be perfect. I'm like, I love it. I'm so glad. So we're walking down the stairs, and there's like a lot of them because, like you said, they don't mold to the land. You mold. It's like you don't change Vera. You change whatever.
Yes.
Vera. You don't change whatever. You get what I'm
get
saying. God damn it. Anyway.
Well, if anybody cares to Google, if you look, you'll see, and the houses aren't cookie cutter in Carmel. They're not.
They're all custom.
Everybody's, yep.
In fact, there was a house across
the street. You buy the lot and then you build the house.
There was a house across the street that was built on clearly on the hill. So it's like built into the hill. They literally had a trolley system to get you up to the house because it's so steep.
Yeah.
Like you could, I mean, you could, but I mean, if you're old now, which most people who live there are elderly.
If you buy a house in Carmel, are you ever selling it ever?
I mean, there's a lot for sale right now.
Unless you're a celebrity or you get old. That's what happens.
There's a lot of older people that live in this area that we were at. Anyway.
Yeah.
And this
because
house,
they have all the money.
This house had just been purchased in 2021.
And it's a rental.
And it's renovated.
They probably already paid for it in the time.
It is clearly their vacation home.
Yeah.
Because it's so pristinely, beautifully decorated.
Yeah,
it was perfect. Anyway, so we're going down the stairs and it's slippy. And Mackenzie's wearing Ugg slippers.
Oh.
And so they're flat. There's no groove underneath.
Right. They don't have any grip.
So we're literally on the last step.
Sakes.
And she slips out and lands on her ass. And of course, you're trying to stop yourself. So she literally tried to stop herself. So not only does she knocked the wind out of her sails, and all I can think is, okay, I am responsible because now the bride is injured.
She's splooted on the floor.
And now what are we going to do? And she's like, wait. I'm like, Mackenzie. And I'm like, I'm trying to gauge.
Like, are you hurt?
Is there real injury or are you like, what happened? She had knocked the wind out of her sails. She could not breathe. And she's like, hold on. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just giving her a minute. And I'm like, honey, I need to look at you. I need to see, did you hurt? Like, did you break your arm?
Is anything like hurt?
Like, did you break your ankle? Like, what did we do? Because now
it takes a minute.
I'm terrified for her. And because I know all she's thinking of is
my wedding's tomorrow.
How am I getting married? So I'm giving her the once over. I think she's fine. And then finally, and I was worried about the tailbone mostly. So finally she's like, let me try to get up. I'm like, okay, this is it, So she gets up and she's like, okay, I think I'm okay. I didn't break anything, but that was a really hard fall. I'm like, it definitely was. So she had a bruise under her, like the fleshy part of her underarm that looked like a horse bit her.
Like your inside of your bicep.
It looked like a horse bit her. A big round purple bruise. And she's like, I'm going to have a bruise on my ass. I'm like, oh, yeah, you are. My Minnesota mom comes out. Oh, yeah, you are. And she's like, oh, my God. I'm like,
Fargo.
Ken's not going to care.
Oh, God,
she's like, I know. And so,
I mean, it's right.
So then as the day progresses, she's very bruised
and hurt, sore.
And she's not as sore. Well, we gave her some leave. We gave her some, we brought every drug known to man with us. And so when they were doing photos,
they had to hide that thing.
No, they did a whole series of photos of Ken looking at her bruise and them laughing about it.
That's funny.
And then the next day in the morning, she goes, I know this is TMI, but you have to see this. And so I get an ass shot of her in her thong.
Oh, God.
With a nice long purple line bruise on her ass. I'm like, hey, that looks like this stair.
In the shape of a stair.
It was so, she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, congratulations.
Well, that'll be a
never
memory.
forget it. So anyway.
Something always has to happen at a wedding, you know.
Oh, yeah. Did it have to be the bride? Oh, my God.
Yeah, Lauren had diarrhea.
Oh, no.
At the wedding. Because she was
horrible.
She was 3 months old. But remember that? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you probably don't remember, but I didn't want anybody to hold her. And
Oh, no, I
'cause she was
remember.
ill,
I do remember
and
that.
everybody was crying because I was so mean.
Whatever.
That my 90-day-old child was not being passed around like, you know.
I remember that. She had such a fever. I just
She was
remember
ill.
that vividly.
Very ill, yeah. And then my mother-in-law
Yes.
came and knocked on the door of the honeymoon suite like 2 hours after the wedding was over.
You're like, what?
Like, what do you... Well, I just wanted to see Lauren before we went to bed. I'm like, yeah, it's
our
like,
wedding night.
I just got married.
Weirdo.
And I just spent like 8 hours with you.
How much more time do you need?
You know, between the wedding and the reception and the dinner and all of that, I'm like, what is there left to say that you can't say to me in the morning when we see you
when we
at
have
the
breakfast? God.
And I was exhausted. No sex was happening that night.
No, we have our
I was
child.
just so glad to be alone and like
Oh,
in a
God.
room and
Are
like
you-
not in heels and a dress. And
I
you
tell
know,
you what.
I mean, but people just, it's all about them.
I have to say, I had said this to a friend. I said, I really can't wait for this to be over. And it's not that I didn't enjoy every moment,
No, of
because I
course.
actually did.
I get it.
But
I did mine too.
I was
by the
really,
way.
I was really glad it was over because
It's exhausting.
God,
It is exhausting.
I mean, emotionally taxing.
Everything. Yeah. Physically,
Everything.
emotionally. I mean, physically, you're doing a lot of walking. You're in heels. You know, you're
Yeah.
never really sitting down for long periods of time, you know.
Daryl. Okay.
Because she has the parents. You're hosting all of this, and it's...
Yeah, there's a lot, and I haven't been in mom mode like that in a really long time.
Right.
It was very weird to be
You
in
had
that
all
mode
your
again,
kids
and they
there.
were all there, and it was great. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
of
great,
course.
but it is. I just realized how mentally taxing it is to be a mother.
That's why you have to be in your
full-time.
20s and 30s when you have
100%. Oh my God.
Because we could never do it in our 50s.
I don't-
We would give up and they'd all be in orphanages.
They'd all be feral.
I'd be like, you're going to an adoption home. I can't do this.
Like, no, I'm too tired. I've lived
this
my
is
life.
exhausting.
I've lived my life. I can't do it.
Well, or you know, when you're older, if you have money, you just throw money at the problem. You know, you get a
Sure.
nanny and
Oh God.
a housekeeper.
Somebody said they're
and-
like, you need a night nurse, you need a day nurse,
All
and I'm like,
things.
I need another parent.
yeah,
Anything,
that's why
and
you,
I'll just
you hire people.
right. But
That's
anyway,
why celebrities have all these fucking kids because they don't have to take care of them. They have people.
So true. Oh, speaking of, did you see that Christina Ricci got a star on the Walk of Fame?
No, I didn't.
Okay, this was a while ago, but it was her husband, and I think she has 2 children. She has an older son, and she has like a 2-year-old daughter. The 2-year-old daughter decided that she was not going to behave, nor was she going to care at all about photos.
They don't care.
And so
They're
she's
2.
literally dancing on her mother's star while
like-
the whole world is trying to take photos of this illustrious event.
Nice.
And so Christina is like, little princess, please come stand with your family. We're going to take a quick photo. She's like, fuck you. And
Yeah,
she's
right?
spinning and she's dancing around because there's probably music playing or whatever.
They
And
just
then
don't care. They beat to the march of their own drum anywhere.
And then dad was like, okay, I'm going to pick you up and I'll hold you. And she's like, arch back. Immediately arching her back.
Leave me alone.
Kicking at the same time. If someone held me,
Good.
if someone held me and I was arching my back, I don't know if I could kick as well, but she certainly could.
Well, they can do anything.
So he put her back
They're like
down.
Gumby.
So he put her back. Her hair was wild. She clearly was not interested that day in any kind
she'd
of.
probably been doing this for hours.
She's
and
like,
she
I'm
was
not doing
over it.
So
Yeah.
finally, they're just like, well, this is it. Because what is she going to do? Become a mother immediately and go, get your ass over here.
No, that's why
We
you
are
have
going
a
to
nanny
pose.
off to the side that you're like,
Clearly, they have none. That's what I indicated, is that she is
they
parenting
probably
her own
wanted to look
children.
wholesome and humble and like.
I love
this is our
Christina
family.
Ricci.
I do too.
But anyway, they're just
I'm
like,
sure
forget it.
the whole world gets it. If you've ever owned a toddler, you know.
100%.
There's
and I'm
nothing
like,
to do.
I'm like, well, you can grab her and you can be the mean mom, which we all like.
If
honestly,
we were in the grocery store, you would already been, like,
if I saw,
get over here.
I'm looking just going, I know that this is taking every will she has.
every will.
Not to be a
But
bitch.
she's on camera.
I mean, and
It can
every
ruin your career
it's
in
global
1 second.
too. It's literally global. It's not just LA.
Like I can't lose it for even
She's
one
like,
second.
I so badly want to grab you by the arm and just get you over here. But apparently I'm just going to have to let you ruin my moment. So here we are. But anyway, I thought that was really funny when it just reminded me.
That is funny. Well, everybody knows. Nobody judges you for shit like that.
Oh my God,
anymore.
not at all. I'm just, in fact, if you look at the comments, they're like, oh God, as a mother, it would have taken everything in me not to go, get over her, you know, but you can't do it.
Well, and the way we are nowadays, I mean, you used to be able to yank your child in public, and you'd actually, you were expected to spank your child in public. And if you didn't, people would look at you and be like, are you going to do something?
Are you just going to let them act like that?
And now it's like now it's all this gentle parenting, the talking, and then,
I don't think there's anything wrong.
Your words and
I am very, very much not a fan of spanking children.
Oh, I'm not either.
I know you're not.
Ever.
But
never have been.
I will absolutely yell at you if I need to.
Oh, heck yeah. I can give a look that would like peel the skin off your flesh.
Absolutely.
But
I mean,
serious.
I don't know. Kenzie and I have gone rounds on the gentle parenting thing. And she goes, well, Mom, you've just seen it done wrong. And I'm like, oh, I cannot wait.
Oh, God, please.
I can't wait for you to have a baby.
Thank you. It brings out the ugliest parts of your
fun for you.
Personality.
You'll love it. You're going to love it.
Yeah. You're like, now I know why people are homicidal. Like, I get it. I so get it.
Now I understand self-care.
Yeah, totally.
Now I understand drinking.
Well, and you see sides of you that you didn't know existed. You're like, wow.
It's insane. You're like, I've never loved anything more in my life, and I've never wanted to rip my skin off.
Exactly.
This is so fun for me. I just love it. Why do people choose this?
Seriously, though.
It's so challenging.
So true.
Anyway, well, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's other stuff I want to talk about. We'll talk about it next time, though.
We have lots of time to recap the wedding.
So much. Oh, no, just other things happening in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, that was a lot. So weddings are a big deal. If you've ever been through a wedding and it's your own,
even your
spawn,
own.
Well, that too. That's a totally different perspective. But
yes,
your own wedding. Because I'm sure Kenzie would have a lot to say about her wedding versus having a wedding for your child. Mm-hmm. Giving the wedding, paying for the wedding, all of those things.
That's what I kind of love about it, is that everybody's got a different purview.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure her siblings, her brothers and sisters have something different, that they would say about the wedding.
It was a great weekend, though. I just can't imagine there's any complaints.
No, I don't think anybody would complain. No. I just think from their point of view,
they'll see stuff for sure.
It's just a different, when you're a brother or a sister versus when you're a parent versus when you're a friend,
Totally.
Everybody has different feelings in the way they
Actually,
see.
there was one thing that happened that Daryl was disappointed on, and was this. He wanted me to have my own special bottle of champagne at the final lunch. Uh-huh. And so he ordered a bottle of Ruinart Rosé, which is a very nice bottle of
hard to get,
sparkling.
Would have been special.
It was special. And so he's like, that was just for you. And I'm like, okay. So
tell me somebody opened it and drank it.
No, well, he asked them to open it for us. So he opened it. I got a glass. It was delicious. And then other people were like, oh, what's that? And so I got one glass. It got served. And I'm like, well, what are we going to do? What are you going to do?
Maybe you shouldn't have. Anyway.
He shouldn't have done it.
No, he should have done it, but maybe it should have been a private, that's you guys alone in your suite after.
Anything other than.
Or after all the guests left.
Right. Because one bottle isn't going to go very far.
Well, no, but.
Not with 15 people.
Well, I'm not going to keep talking.
Actually less.
This is a public podcast.
So it's fine.
We don't want to sever any relationships.
No. It wasn't even that. It was just that everybody.
Oh, no, it is that.
Everybody had a taste, but it wasn't my fault.
Well, and it was probably everybody's like fifth or sixth bottle of champagne at that point, you don't think about.
Daryl had ordered plenty of sparkling.
Yeah,
we had plenty.
Always. I've been to your parties,
but everybody wanted to, and I'm like, at this point, I'm like, well, we shouldn't have opened it. Frankly, it should have been something after the lunch. But he wanted to open it, so
he wanted you to have your special.
Right,
I get it,
but
I know how D is. He's so thoughtful.
I will say the one thing about weddings that when they're not yours or whatever, I told Daryl, I go, man, invisible is not the word. I go, but man, you really realize when the next generation has taken over. Like you take a step back and you're just watching. It's really interesting, and you feel it, and you're like, we're old.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh God, it sucks, but. It's kind of nice.
Well, I mean, I feel like that at work. I hate to say it.
Oh, do you?
Well, kind of, yeah, because, the more when you work at a big, huge organization.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody they hire is younger than you.
Yes.
How often do they hire people in their 50s and 60s? No.
True. Although
So
I will
everybody's
say,
a baby to me.
I will say though, I kind of enjoyed watching them because it's all my kids. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed that part of it. But I'm just like, dang, like they don't even give a shit that we're here. Like it's so weird.
Well, they make their own fun wherever
Totally.
they go.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, we were that
But
way
I think
too.
that's why he was like, I want you to have this bottle. And I'm like, oh, that's so
I get
sweet.
it.
You know?
Daryl is literally the most thoughtful creature on the planet, especially when it comes to you.
Yes.
He
it's
wants
true.
all
and
the things for you.
And it was funny when they opened it, and I'm like, this isn't going to stay with me. There's no way.
I'd have done it under the table or something.
Yeah. Because everybody's like,
lesson
you know?
learned. Damn. I mean, I have thoughts about that, but I
It's
won't.
all right.
Yeah.
You know what? It was a mistake, but it was a delicious mistake.
At least you got some.
Oh, I did. I got a lovely glass, and I had plenty of champagne.
No, I know, but I get it.
I know what you're trying to do. But anyway,
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, like the bride had some. I mean, you know, it was just.
That would have been like if he gave you a piece of jewelry and everyone's like, can I try it on? Let me see. Can I look at that? I want to hold it.
Basically, yes.
Can I take a picture with your ring? Hold on. See? Wow.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
It's mine after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But at that point, I was just like, whatever.
Baxter's like, I am so out of here.
Like, all right, that's enough of
He
the
can't.
screaming.
Yeah, the cackling. This is our Jamie's ginormous cat.
Tyler said something. He goes, "You sound like a bunch of hens." I'm like, "How dare you, sir?
I call us chickens.
How dare you?"
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, "Get out of here, you jerk."
Fine. You know what? Like do your own thing. Because like someday you're going to be us and you're going to look back and be like, yeah, I get it.
Whatever. It was a fun day. It was a fun weekend.
I'm so glad.
You were missed though. I will say for sure.
I miss you guys. I wanted to be there. I was there in spirit.
You were there in spirit, and that was that.
And
was
we talked. We actually
did.
Jamie called me on this Saturday.
Yes,
because I texted and said I really, really wanted to see a picture of Kenzie. I was dying to like see how she was looking. And
did I did send?
Yeah, you did. No, you did.
I'm like, did I?
But you called me, and I looked at my phone. I'm like, Jamie's calling me. I picked up. I'm like,
yes.
A phone call?
Yeah. Oh, you're like, is someone dead? Has someone passed?
I'm like, we don't call each other.
Is that the only time we ever speak with each other?
Rare.
Yeah, it was just easier.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I phone call people too, and they're like, "What? Why? What's up?
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Are you in an accident? Yeah. Do you need a ride?
Rude. Like, who leaves a voicemail to somebody? You mean I have to listen to your voicemail?
It's like, are you stuck? It's always an emergency. Yeah. It's always an emergency. But anyway, yeah, that was fun. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you. Good night. All right. Bye.